For 20 years, Milburn Stone was the moral compass of Dodge City. As Doc Adams on Gunsmoke, he wasn't just a man with a medical bag. He was the soul of the show. But behind the crusty exterior and the sharp-tongued banner with Chester and Festus, Milburn Stone was running a hard internal race. While his co-stars joked between takes, Stone was famous for one thing. He almost never broke character. Under the title, "This is why he never broke character on set," the secret Milburn Stone kept for 20 years. We are uncovering the hidden motivation of a Hollywood veteran who treated every scene like a matter of life and death. For decades, fans thought his intensity was just method acting, but the truth was much more personal. Milburn Stone was protecting a secret, a physical and psychological rig that he maintained to ensure he never let his castmates or his audience down. Today, we reveal why Stone refused to relax on set, the private health battle that almost ended his career in the 1970s, and the unexpected strength he drew from a role that saved his life. Before we look into the medical bag of Dodge City's most famous doctor, please subscribe and hit the like button. Let's find out why Milburn Stone stayed in character until the very end. Break. Because he believed the strength of the show depended on its gravitas. Stone famously argued with writers and directors if he felt a scene was too silly. He knew that for the audience to believe in the life and death stakes of a frontier town, the doctor had to be real. But as the years turned into decades, this refusal to step out of character became a biological rig. Stone was hiding a mounting physical exhaustion. He was a heavy smoker and a workaholic who pushed his body to the limit to keep up with the grueling 14-hour shoot days. He kept a hard secret. He was terrified that if he relaxed for even a moment, if he let the doc persona slip, the sheer physical toll of his secret health struggles would catch up to him, and the producers would see that their anchor was starting to fray. He used the character as a shield, staying in Doc's skin to hide the fact that Milburn Stone was running out of time. By 1971, the hard reality of Milburn Stone's secret health battle finally collided with the grueling schedule of the show. For years, Stone had been a 2-pack-a-day smoker, fueling his long days on set with caffeine and the sheer strength of his will. But the human body has a limit, and Stone's heart was beginning to fail. The secret he had kept for nearly 20 years, a mounting struggle with cardiovascular health, reached a breaking point during the filming of the 17th season. Stone didn't just feel tired. He was experiencing the hard symptoms of a man whose biological rig was collapsing. Yet, true to his character, he refused to show weakness on set. He stayed in character as Doc, using the character's natural irritability and slow movements to mask his own genuine physical distress. He didn't want the network to think he was a liability. He wanted to remain the sovereign of his own career. The crisis came to a head when Stone had to undergo emergency bypass surgery, which was a high-risk procedure in the early 70s. The hard news shocked the cast and crew, who had seen him as an indestructible fixture of the show. While he was in the hospital, the producers were faced with a terrifying choice: replace the man who had been there since day one, or wait for a miracle. But here's where Stone's hard discipline paid off. Because he had spent 20 years becoming the soul of the show, the network realized that Gunsmoke couldn't survive without him. For the first time in the show's history, they wrote Doc out of several episodes, sending the character away for studies. During his recovery, Stone's only focus was regaining the strength to return. He rigged his recovery with the same intensity he used for his acting, shocking doctors by returning to the set much sooner than expected. He came back with a new heart, but the same hard dedication to never letting the persona slip. Part 3. The Festus Factor, the hard chemistry of antagonism. When Ken Curtis joined the cast as the scruffy, illiterate Festus Hagen, the show found its comedic lightning rod. But it was Milburn Stone who provided the ground wire. Stone understood a hard truth about television. Comedy only works when it's played against a stone wall of seriousness. This was the secret behind the legendary banter between Doc and Festus. Stone didn't treat Festus like a clown. He treated him like a genuine medical frustration. Stone's refusal to break character was never more apparent than during his scenes with Curtis. While Ken Curtis was a classically trained singer and a highly sophisticated man, he played Festus with chaotic energy that would make most actors break into laughter. But Stone's rig was impenetrable. He would look at Festus with a level of hard disgust that felt 100% authentic. This wasn't just acting. It was a commitment to the strength of the story. Stone knew that if Doc Adams laughed at Festus, the magic was dead. The secret to their chemistry was that Stone actually mentored Curtis in the hard art of character maintenance. He told Curtis that for their rivalry to work, it had to feel like a marriage of two people who couldn't stand each other but couldn't live without each other. They rigged their performances to be the perfect counterbalance. Festus was a soft chaos, and Doc was a hard authority. Off camera, Stone and Curtis were the best of friends, but the moment they stepped onto the dirt of Dodge City, Stone became the barrier. He would often refuse to joke around with Curtis before a big scene, keeping a hard, emotional distance to ensure that when the cameras rolled, the sparks were real. This professional sovereignty is what turned their bickering into the most beloved part of the show, proving that Stone's hard rules weren't about ego. They were about protecting the quality of the empire they were building together. By the early 1970s, Milburn Stone had become more than just an actor. He was a vital organ in the $200 million Gunsmoke machine. After his heart surgery and triumphant return, the network, CBS, realized they were standing on shaky ground. They had almost lost the soul of their number one Western. Stone, with the strength of a man who had stared death in the face, decided it was time to rig the financial system in his favor. The hard truth of television at the time was that supporting actors were often treated as expendable contract labor. But Stone knew his worth. He knew that the audience tuned in as much for Doc's grumpy wisdom as they did for Matt Dillon's fast draw. When his contract came up for renewal, Stone didn't just ask for a raise. He made a hard stand. He demanded a salary that rivaled the biggest stars in Hollywood, and more importantly, residual rights that would ensure his family's strength for generations. The secret to his negotiation was his willingness to walk away. Because he lived a disciplined, hard life and didn't chase the flashy Hollywood lifestyle, he had built a sovereign reserve. He told the executives that if they didn't value his 20-year commitment to the Doc character, he was perfectly happy retiring to his ranch. The network blinked. They handed Stone a deal that was unheard of for a supporting character, pushing his earnings into the elite bracket of $100,000 per season plus syndication bonuses. Stone had rigged his own victory not by being a diva, but by being indispensable. He proved that when you never break character and never lower your standards, you gain the strength to dictate your own terms to the biggest corporations in the world. In 1975, the hard news came without warning. After 20 years, CBS was canceling Gunsmoke. There was no farewell season, no planned finale, just a sudden end to the longest-running drama in TV history. For many, this would have been a crushing blow, but Milburn Stone met the news with the same strength and stoicism he had brought to Doc Adams for 2 decades. While the rest of the world was shocked, Stone was at peace. He had rigged his life so that his identity wasn't tied to a paycheck, but to the quality of the work he had already completed. The secret to Stone's final years was his total sovereignty. He was the only cast member to have appeared in every single season besides James Arness, and his financial discipline meant he walked away with a sovereign fortune. But more than the money, Stone's legacy was the hard standard of excellence he left behind. Even as his health continued to challenge him, he refused to fade into the typical retired actor circuit. He remained a man of dignity. choosing to live a quiet, disciplined life away from the Hollywood rig. In 1980, when Stone passed away at the age of 75, the hard truth of his impact was revealed. He didn't just play a doctor. He had inspired an entire generation of real-world physicians who cited Doc Adams as the reason they entered medicine. He had rigged the character to be so authentic, so reliable, and so human that Doc became the gold standard for medical integrity in the American consciousness. Even now, in 2026, the strength of Milburn Stone's 20-year performance remains unmatched. In an era of deep fakes and superficial acting, Stone's commitment to never breaking character stands as a masterclass for any professional. He proved that the ultimate secret to success isn't fame, it's consistency. He lived his life with a hard edge and a soft heart, ensuring that while the show eventually ended, the Doc would live forever as a symbol of unshakable character. Milburn Stone's 20-year journey as Doc Adams is the ultimate proof that professional discipline is a superpower. He didn't just play a part. He built a rig of authenticity that protected his career, his castmates, and his legacy. He showed us that when you refuse to break character, you become indestructible. Do you think Milburn Stone was right to stay so serious on set? Or do you think he should have relaxed and enjoyed the pranks like James Arness? Let us know your hard take in the comments below. If this deep dive into the secret of Dodge City's doctor gave you strength for your own career, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. To help us keep telling these stories of Hollywood's most disciplined legends, consider sending us super thanks. It's how we keep this channel independent and hard as iron. Don't leave yet. Click the video on your screen right now to see the hidden reason Ken Curtis almost quit Festus, and the hard conversation Milburn Stone had to have to keep the duo together. We'll see you there.